Here in my garage with another staff tutorial because I just can't keep my hands off my wood. This video was viewer requested, and this particular viewer, I was having trouble with their Kung Fu staff flower spin. So we'll go over the basics because I don't know what their exact issues were. And so we want to start with a grip like so. And you don't want to grip it as tight as you can with all fingers because it'll make the staff spin a lot smoother if you really kind of loosen these ones. I'm not saying to hold it like this the whole time, but just to keep those ones kind of loose so that you have more mobility in the wrists. So you're going to turn the staff over, and you're not really going to tuck it in the armpit. Like a lot of people explain it, you tuck in the armpit, but you'll get caught right there if you do so. So that's just more of a form thing. You want to kind of let it go on the outside of your elbow as much as you can, which, you know, it's going to put a little torque on your finger, but you'll be okay when you bring it across. So you're going to do that on both sides, and you're going to bring it across, bring it across, bring it across, and you're trying to do that faster and faster. And see, this is actually really hard on the wrist and the thumb, so it's not my most favorite spin. But if you want to do it more smoothly, you need to try to get it as flat to your sides as you can. It's going to come across diagonally here, but once you get here, you really want it to come across flat, flat, flat once you get to the sides, like that. And a lot of people will say to hold it at shoulder length, and that might make it harder on you. I don't know, it depends on the person and your wrist flexibility. So you may want to hold it even closer. So that's one tip. You can hold it a little closer, and that might actually help you bring it across. So try that. And if that doesn't help, another thing that may help you is your staff might actually be too short. So you might want to get a longer staff. This one's a bit longer than that one. The momentum of the longer staff ends will help you because the weight will help bring the staff over in a more circular motion. So we got our overhand grip here. We're coming through like this, okay? Now this viewer also mentioned a scene from The Matrix, this scene. And in that scene, Neo was doing something similar. What he was actually doing was a figure 8 spin, an upward figure 8 spin, two-handed. And what you're going to do for that one is you're going to have to hold your grip like this. He had a close grip. It helps when your hands are towards the center. And then what you do is you're going to bring it up. And I actually like this one a bit better than the flower spin because it's not as hard on the wrists and not as hard on the body. So, you know. And then again, so to do that, you're holding a grip like this. You're just swinging it up, and I'm swooshing up, and I'm turning it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and you get that motion. And you could do this overhand too. And that leads me to my favorite figure 8 spin, which is more of a single-handed, well, it's double-handed, but you'll see what I mean. Instead of keeping the two-handed grip the entire time, I'm going to take my hand off as I come across here, and then I'm going to put it in this hand. This is what I'm doing. I'm bringing it up, over, across, and I'm grabbing under grip. And then I'm going 1, 2, under grip, 1, 2, under grip, 1, 2, under grip. And so what that looks like is more like this, and you can get more speed on it, and it's a lot easier on the wrists. And you could do that overhand as well. Okay, so now let's recap some of the things that we were discussing when correcting the flower technique. So if your problem is that you just aren't gripping it right, it might be, you know, you got to have that overhand grip. You want to make sure the fingers are kind of loose, and that'll help you. Say your problem is you're really having an issue getting it to come over flat and then flat and then flat to flow. And when you're doing it, you might be coming over real awkward and diagonal. If that's your issue, you might be gripping it too tight with all your fingers. So loosen those pinkies a little bit. The next thing is you may not be turning enough at the hip. You really got to turn that hip over. You know, if you're staying too square, you're not going to be able to bring it over as easily, right? So you really want to make sure you're getting that twist in the hip, which can be difficult. The next thing that we discussed is maybe your grip is too far apart. That could make it hard. So try bringing your grip in just a bit, not too far, but just a bit, and experiment with that. And that could help you bring it over easier when you're going into the spin. And also it may help you just to have a longer staff. Maybe your staff is too short and you'll find that it's easier with something that weighs more. So it depends on what you're using. If your staff is too light, it may actually be more difficult. Other than that, just make sure you have the form right. So the technique, overhand grip. Yeah, don't tuck under the shoulder like we discussed. So you're just going to try to, maybe that's your issue, is you're getting jammed up here. Try going just slightly on the outside of the elbow. So you're going to go over this way. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember that technique is like more like this. I'm not going here, I'm going a little bit out here. I'm going like this. I still have that overhand grip the whole time. It's really hard on the thumbs, so that's why it's not my favorite spin. And that might help you on your flowering. And that's about it for this video. This has been a Nick Stevens martial arts video here in my garage. Hopefully that answered your question. If you still have questions, just ask me down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.